You're listening to Crimecasters Network.
We're joined now by DeAndre Lane, Bianca's dad. DeAndre, thank you for being with us.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
So, as a dad, what would be your wishes for your daughter right now if she's still alive? Because you believe she's still alive.
I most definitely believe that she's still alive, and my wishes is just that wherever she is, that she's being taken care of, and that whoever has her just brings her forward so she can be returned to her real, true family.
So,
as long as she's safe, I mean, if we are able to find her, as long as she's safe, that's the only thing that I care about.
So, DeAndre, so much time has passed since that day. You've had a lot of time to think about this. What do you think happened to your daughter? Where do you think she is?
I mean, it's so many different thoughts that go through my mind. I mean, and I like I said before, like I don't like to speculate and put stuff out there because I really don't know. And for me personally, I just hope, like, it was a situation where, somebody wanted a child and they wanted somebody that they could take care of or something. I mean, and going through all this, I know about the human trafficking that was going on in Detroit, between Detroit and Canada at that time. I know about, all the different things that go on in the streets. I know people have made reference to my daughter's mom and made reference to her family members and things of that situation. And it's been references made about me. But my whole thing has always just been like, I just hope she's all right. I just hope whoever has her is taking care of her and treating her well, and she's safe. And that's what I try to focus on. Like the other things, speculating about other things, I try not to focus on, because even though I strive to be a nice person, I strive to be a good person, if I start focusing too much on the bad, if you think bad, bad happens. And that's even, with respect to your own actions. Because if I start thinking like, oh, somebody might have did this or somebody might have did that, then I'll start holding certain energy towards those people. And I don't really want to do that, especially without any provocation or proof.
So, DeAndre, when it comes to the moment where the car is behind you, they're telling you that you have a brake light out, you pull over. Some people have questioned, why would you pull over in Detroit?
Well, for me, I would say this. That wasn't like an anomaly for me. It's something that's happened to me before. I've lived in Detroit my whole life, and I know a lot of people have stigmas of Detroit and even the area in which I was in. But by being from Detroit and being there, I don't look at Detroit the same way as some other people see Detroit. I've seen bad things happen in Detroit, but I've seen bad things happen everywhere. But I've also seen the good and the beauty of Detroit. So this wasn't the first time that I've had a situation with a light being out, or, somebody telling me my tire might be flat, or anything like that. So it wasn't something that was strange to me. I mean, looking back on it now, I feel like differently about it. Like, man, like this is, maybe I shouldn't have done it. But at that point in time, early in the morning, it didn't seem like nothing strange.
Did they get any prints off of the car?
They said they had found a partial print on the back door, but they couldn't identify the print. They said that there were no prints in the car. So evidently, somebody had to wipe everything down. Because if I'm driving the car, if I'm the last person driving the car, then my print should be on the car, because I didn't have gloves on. When they were tracking and they found the car, they had a dog, a tracking dog that led them to an abandoned building that picked up on a ski mask, took it to the handler. I told them that one of the individuals that carjacked me was wearing a ski mask. They never put that in the evidence. Why? Because it was something that might have been favorable to me.
Did they ever get a hit on your clothing?
No. None whatsoever.
Because you would think that if you handled her, they would have been able to hit on your clothing.
The whole day. From that night to that morning, because the clothes that I had on that night, I had those same clothes on that morning. So that whole time, I was the one handling her You know what I'm saying? There was witnesses who heard her in the bathroom, no hit in the bathroom. There was witnesses that saw her on the couch in the living room, a leather couch that was in the living room, no hit in the living room. You know, and then the car seat, if you look, and a person could research this stuff, you know what I'm saying? This is not something I'm just talking. The person could research this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The cadaver dog expert said that when he first let his dog go to find the car seat or whatever, the dog didn't get a hit. When they let the dog go try to find the blanket, the dog wasn't a hit. The police then went and opened the packaging and put it somewhere else, and then the dog went straight to it. Now, according to the cadaver dog expert, the packaging shouldn't have affected whether this dog smelled or whatever to see the decompetition on these things. Also, the cadaver dog handler never looked inside the packaging to see what was actually in there. He just wrote down the numbers that was given to him.
I don't mean to be nosy, but I'm going to be nosy. That's what I do. But I find your relationship, the relationship between you and Bianca, interesting, to say the least. The two of you have not wavered in your support for one another from day one. She's been behind you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've known each other since we were probably like 13 years old, and I'm 42 now. So, you know, I've known her for more of my life than I haven't known her. And throughout everything that we've gone through, you know what I'm saying, we've always had this kindredship between each other. Like, we've always been these kindred spirits that have had a connection with one another. No matter what we were going through in our personal relationships, you know what I'm saying, we always had that connection where we were always there for each other. We've always supported each other. And me knowing her and knowing how I am when it comes to my children, like, I would never think that she would do anything like that would put my child or any one of my children in danger. Like, even to this day, like, if she, you know, so my oldest son, she contacts him and reaches out to him. If any one of my other children needs anything, she's like, hey, whatever I can do, let me know. You know, so if it was anything that she was trying to do, like, people be like, well, maybe she was trying to get back at you. Maybe she was, like, if it was anything that she was trying to do to get back at me, she would do something to me, or it would have something to do with whoever I was in a relationship with at the time. She would never do anything, in my eyes, in my belief, that would jeopardize my child, especially not a child that's also her child.
Right. So in your fight for your freedom, some people feel like it overshadows your daughter is still missing.
Right.
But do you feel like you can't find her if you're still behind bars, or you at least can't find the answers that you want?
What I would say is this. Her and our stories are connected. Our destinies are connected. If she was to be found right now today, instantly, that would negate everything that's going on with me, and they would have to let me out of prison. Mm-hmm. If they let me out of prison, if my case is overturned, then instantly they have to actually start putting in an effort to look for her again. Because that's something to me that has never truly taken place.
Where you sit, you don't belong behind bars. How do you come to terms with that every day?
I mean, for me, it's more a thing of, like, just focusing on the fact of my innocence, focusing on the faith that I have, that this conviction will be overturned, focusing on my advocates and the people that are in my corner, and being strong for them. Like, that's something I've had to do my whole life, is I've had to always be strong for everybody else that was around me. So when things would happen, I would always be the one to have to step up and show that strength and be like, you know, hey, it's going to be all right. And this was the first time in my life that I had ever felt vulnerable. And I didn't know how to deal with it. Like, literally, after this took place, I'm like, if my sister was allowed to tell you, she'd tell you, because I went to her house after everything happened. I couldn't eat. I was messed up. And I finally kind of came out of it a little bit to when I started seeing, you know what I'm saying, my other daughter, when she came back around, and, you know, my nieces and nephews, they would be talking to me, and it's like I finally had to snap back and pull myself back together because I had to understand who I was for them.